Hi, I'm Katie, and today I'm going to show you how I make caprese salad 3 different ways. So caprese salad is traditionally made with tomato, mozzarella, and basil. All 3 of my salads are going to involve those ingredients, but they're all going to be slightly different. The first one is going to be the most like the traditional caprese salad. I'm going to slice up a tomato, but my tomato is yellow. Usually caprese salads are made with red tomatoes. This is a Dad's Sunset tomato that I grew in my garden. Very tasty. I'm super excited to eat that. I have a big old hunk of fresh mozzarella. I have some basil here, but this basil, the sun is kind of weird today, but if you can see it there, it's purple basil, so it's actually quite beautiful and just a little different than the green basil that you would usually see in a caprese salad. So all you do is just slice up your tomato, and you want the flat slices so you can just discard the ends and maybe sprinkle a little salt on them and just eat them by themselves, which is what I usually do with the ends of my tomatoes. So I'm just going to take these 4 slices of beautiful tomato and I'm going to put them on my plate. And this plate and bowl that I have right here are what I'm going to build all 3 of my salads on. Alright, got those. And one thing that I do a little bit differently with my caprese salads that are more traditional is usually these are stacked up sort of on top of each other, and then you wedge the other ingredients in. But I always end up straightening my stacks out anyway, so I just make them stacked without all the layering business that's usually involved. Okay, so now I am going to cut some slices. Really can't see that because of the sun, maybe that's better. Cut some slices of my fresh mozzarella cheese. And if I was just making just one of these kinds of salads, I would probably make all of them a little bit larger, so they're kind of like mini versions of the salads. Alright, and then some people would use like the whole basil leaf and just stick that in there like that, but I like to cut my basil up. And so what I do is just take your basil stack, roll it up into a tight ball, and then you just cut it into sections that will then become strips. And this is called chiffonading. You can do it with basil and lots of other different types of herb leaves just to make them smaller and pretty. That, and then I just sprinkle that all on top of my caprese salad. Alright, one thing that I do usually do that I actually forgot to do after I sliced my tomatoes was just add a little bit of salt right then, because I like the salt on the tomatoes, but I'll salt and pepper it at the end and it'll be fine. So next thing that I'm going to do though is drizzle over some Balsamic Reduction. And you can make your own, you just need to boil down some balsamic vinegar. I was just thought about doing that today and didn't end up not feeling like it, and I had some in the fridge, so you can also buy it at the store. The next thing that you need for this salad is olive oil, and I don't have any right here, so I need to go get it. Alright, I'm back. I have my olive oil. Actually, my olive oil pourer that I usually use is in the wash, and rather than get it out of the dishwasher and clean it and fill it with oil, I thought I would just try and be careful with this little olive oil pourer that I have here. So I'm just going to put a little drizzle of this on the salad. Oh, that was a little bit more than a drizzle. I knew that was going to happen. It's okay. And then I'm going to crack some pepper on top and put some salt on there, and my first Caprese salad is complete. So that's exciting. On to the second one. So our second salad is a Caprese bite. It's gonna be like a whole Caprese salad in one bite, and it's a wonderful thing to have for gatherings, or just make a bunch for yourself, and it's delicious too. So what I've got is a Campari tomato here. So these are not from my garden, but delicious nonetheless, and really cute. And like I would be making a ton of these, but I'm just gonna eat them myself with all the other Caprese salads. So I'm just gonna make 2 of them, and I'm just scraping out the inside of each tomato. And one half is a little bit more difficult than the other, the half that you've got your stem on, but it's pretty easy. I'm just using a regular spoon, and if I was making a ton of these, I would be preserving the insides, because you can actually make a pretty nice salad dressing with just mayonnaise out of tomatoes. See my BLT salad for more information on that in that video that I did. All right, got all of my tomatoes for today hollowed out, and I'm going to salt the tomatoes and not forget this time. I just think it brings out so much of the tomato flavor. Okay, next I have some mozzarella, but I'm not using the big old chunk of mozzarella I have. I'm using these Silagine. I meant to look up how to say this, but I didn't. It just means they're small balls of mozzarella. And so I'm going to take one of these, and I've got a basil leaf. This is just your traditional green basil. And I am just going to sort of wrap the cheese in the basil and stick it right in the tomato. I have to get out of the sun here so you can see that. It's so cute, little bite-sized Caprese salad. So I'm just gonna do that with my mozzarella and basil for the other 4 bites. There we go. So these are pretty easy to transfer if you have a deviled egg holder. So there's a tip on that. You also would, if you were gonna eat them later, just leave them as they are right now. Take them wherever you were gonna go, and then add your balsamic reduction right before you're ready to eat. And drizzle a little bit on each one. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of cracked pepper on there, just because I like it. All right, that is salad number 2, and moving on to salad number 3. Okay, it's time for our third and final Caprese style salad, and this is actually something that I make for a snack all the time. It's really easy to throw together, and it is tasty. So what I've got here are some cherry tomatoes. These are mini bell tomatoes that I've grown in my garden. Honestly, they're not my favorite cherry tomato that I've ever grown, but when you top them with all this deliciousness that I'm about to, it doesn't matter. Okay, so I've already chopped up a few in my bowl here, and I'm just going to get the rest in there. I quarter them, so they're just kind of small chunks of tomato. If they were my favorite Matt's wild cherry tomato, which is smaller, I would just half them. So just depending on your size of tomato. Then I've got the chunk of my fresh mozzarella I've cut into a couple of slices here, and I am going to cube it. So I'm just first cutting it in slices one way, and then I'll turn it, cut it the other way, which will turn it into cubes. So you know, I almost forgot to salt my tomatoes again, so let's get that taken care of. Get that shaken up in there, and then sort of separate out our cubes of mozzarella cheese and get those in our bowl. And this is actually a little bit bigger than I intended to make. It's all right, I'll eat it. The next thing we add is some homemade pesto. Made this a little bit earlier. It's just basil, pine nuts, garlic, oil, Parmesan cheese, and salt, and just goes in the food processor. And it's pretty easy to come together, but of course you can buy pesto at the store, or if I don't have pesto and I don't have the stuff to make it, then sometimes what I'll do is just chiffonade up some basil, add it in with some olive oil, and that is just fine too. It works. So I'm just gonna put a couple of spoonfuls on here. Really like it, so I'm gonna make it a little pesto heavy, and then just gonna stir it all around to mix it up. You could also add balsamic vinaigrette reduction to this. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. I think I have enough on my plate today, so I'm just gonna leave it and enjoy the pesto by itself. All right, well, it's not really looking the prettiest today, but it tastes good. I'm just gonna pull my plate up here so hopefully you can see the final creation. There you go, Caprese salad 3 ways. I hope you enjoy it. Have a great day. Thanks for watching AADL TV. Bye.